What's up? This is we'll call this Chapter 11, Part B, Subset II. On the way home tonight, sunny, looks nice. Probably be able to get a run in tonight. We're still allowed to go run. We're still allowed to go outside. Not supposed to socialize. Over the weekend, did see some people at the golf course. Yeah, that's nice. A bunch of it was packed. Stupid. It was just stupid. It was like, oh well, the golf course is spread out. You know, you're not really close to anybody else. Yeah, you normally go golfing with people, for one. Two, you're out there, it's completely unsanitary once you leave the clubhouse. You've got the golf carts. Are people wiping down the carts every time you come in? You got to pay for the stuff, so you go into the clubhouse, the shop. People are probably touching stuff. I think they're making them leave the pins in. So they didn't touch the pins. All right, what about the ball washers? They're touching them. It's just, the amount of stupidity that we have to deal with is remarkable. It's why this virus will continue to spread for a long time. Now, it may not be pandemic levels. It may be, all right, we can deal with this type of levels. A couple hundred people a day in a state get diagnosed with it. It's like, all right, we can deal with those numbers. But and maybe it's not as severe. But just stay at home. Just take the weekend off. It's like, I really love golfing. Okay, you got to touch a lot of stuff to golf. I'm sorry, even if it's just you're taking your clubs. At least I haven't seen a ton of people at the park recently. Allegedly the playgrounds and the basketball hoops and those types of things are shut down. We get towards the end of May, I wonder what they're going to do. When they would normally open pools up and stuff. If those are going to get opened up like normal. So here's a little remnant from today. Every time we go in and out of the plant, you got to get your temperature taken, ask a series of questions, make sure you're all right. You haven't been in contact or traveled anywhere. Then they take your temperature, make sure you don't have a fever before you go in, because that's like 97% of the cases or something. It's a real high percentage of the cases. The first thing that shows is a fever. But anyway, what we were talking about earlier was weight loss and stuff and running, and I want to go back to those things because I enjoy those subjects. Those subjects are fun to me, enjoyable, and I'm somebody that maybe didn't think that running could be kind of enjoyable, but I like it's a lot more complicated than just going. And I always joke with Dina that what's so hard about when Elijah would do track and stuff or run cross country. It's like, I just got to do is just show up and run. But there's a lot of things to it, especially the technique, being efficient, having the aerobic base, and that's what I've been trying to build. I would say over the last 6 months I've probably done the best at getting built up for myself that I've done over the previous 3 years. I can go out for 5 or 6 mile runs, and when I say 5 or 6 mile runs, I'm probably not running continuous because I still run too fast most of the time. So I'll slow down. I'll walk for a brief period, take a drink of water. I do have my little hip flask for running with water. It's been really handy. So I'll do that. I'm not gonna sit here and say that I'm super fast and can run forever. I can't. Not even close. But I have noticed, and different things that I've seen, watched tons of videos about how you're supposed to run, good running form, and the number that keeps coming back is that cadence being around 180 steps per minute, which is me just going out and running was closer to 150. When I finally found ways to track my cadence. So getting to 180 is tough. It's a lot faster than 150, and you have to consciously make an effort to really pick up the pace. But what I've noticed in that 180 cadence is there's something that's a lot more efficient, because I'll keep track of my heart rate while I'm running with the Samsung Fit Pro 2, and that's the first heart rate monitor that I've had when I was running. I got it last April, and having a heart rate monitor, if you're going to run or do some type of aerobic activity, makes a huge difference, because you can tell just what intensity you're actually going at, how hard your heart's actually beating. So if you're getting into running or something, I wouldn't advise going and spending hundreds of dollars on equipment, because running should be like one of the cheapest aerobic activities you can do. Just get a pair of shoes, you can go outside and run. That's all you need. So I wouldn't get a lot of equipment to start with, but once you get into it and you want to really hone in on what you're doing and get better at it, heart rate monitor or something that can give you heart rate feedback is one of the first things to get. Absolutely. It's made such a huge difference. But what I've noticed, when I try to pick up that pace and get to 180, there's a certain efficiency in that movement where you feel like you're running a lot faster, a lot harder, but the heart rate intensity doesn't necessarily pick up. I think it's just so much more efficient from the body mechanics standpoint, the way the ligaments, tendons, the muscles, everything's working. It's so much more efficient that the heart doesn't have to work as hard. But it's such a mind game to get to that point. And I think people that, if you're taking advice from people who have run for 15, 20 years and run at an extremely high level, very competitive, they have some advantages because they've been doing it for so long. They just have things that are just built into what they're doing. And if you're starting out or trying to learn how to run, and you haven't been overly active for the last 15 or 20 years, running's hard. It is hard. And it's a hard thing to get better at too the older you get, because things aren't natural anymore. You go out, you do what you can do in your body, and it's not necessarily instinctual. It's just what you can do without, really hurting yourself. And, I talk about not spending a lot on shoes or equipment necessarily to start running. You're not going to spend money on a coach either, so you don't have anybody to give you feedback unless you're going to record yourself. And even then, that's kind of risky if you don't really know what you're looking at. So then, the shoes that I got this year, the Infinite 2s, the Under Armour Infinite 2s, they actually link to an app on the phone that can coach you while you're running. It's like, hey, you need to pick it up. You need to run faster. And it's, there's a dichotomy there. If you're trying to run easy, and it says it's an easy run, but it still wants you to run at that cadence, and the intensity doesn't feel easy. So it's like, you want me to run easy or not? But I think there's a point where if you can run with that cadence, that it does make things biomechanically easier to do. But it's a hard place to get to. And maybe I'll do something on a running blog one day on YouTube. This is just me kind of talking out loud, throwing ideas out there. But I think there is something to that cadence, or somewhere around there, depending on your height. Maybe it's a little bit less if you're a taller person, just because of the motion of getting your legs around there, and you've got the longer ligaments and different things anyway. They're going to flex a little bit more, so they'll have a little more give to get the return. Whereas if you're shorter, maybe you go a little bit faster. So I don't know that 180 is necessarily the right cadence for me. Maybe it's mid 170s, but still it's a lot of work just to get to that point. But I think there's value in it for sure. All right, well that's just what I was thinking about today. Thinking maybe I'll get a run in tonight, hopefully. I think all the crazy stuff was done for this week. Weeded it on Monday, had a birthday party yesterday, and colored eggs, so I think we're good there. Tonight should be able to go run, get 3 or 4 miles, and then we'll see. I may just run down to the football field and run on the flat part. It's a little easier if I'm going to run easy tonight. All right. Well, we'll see you later. Be safe and COVID free.